Hello, America. I'm Scott Ott with Stephen Green and Paul Harvey. And Bill Whittle. This is my safe space. And the entire planet is our safe space. We are now having a little meeting here, like we do each week, to plan our episodes of Right Angle. And this week, Stephen Green will be hosting our members-only episode. I am predicting that Steve is going to be just a gushing fountain of new concepts, new show ideas when it comes to that members-only episode. So lay those new hip tracks on us, Stephen.
We're going to need 1,100 members to cover our cost in lightning imagery. If what is coming is what I think it is.
By the lightning way, round, babies. Lightning
you're
round.
Killing me, Larry.
When we go to a podcast only format, that's going to be called Thunder Round.
Thunder Round. Very, very frightening.
We have to get different thunder every time there too. Damn it.
One headline I collected weeks ago, and now the news item's a little stale, so I go ahead and spoil that one. It was something like, actually, no, I think I have it here. It's just in the wrong note place.
Nixon impeached.
I'm really sorry we're missing out on this. It was Florida man threatened to destroy town with army of turtles.
Now, does this mean there's a town that's composed of an army of turtles, or he was going to use an army of turtles to destroy a town?
Summon an army of turtles to destroy the town.
Fiendish mastermind, that Florida man.
Can he just call those down from the heavens? I mean, what is that?
Florida man can do anything.
Well, the difference between a rain of frogs and a rain of turtles is the rain of turtles is much louder.
I fell into a burning ring of turtles.
No.
It doesn't really have an Armageddon-y kind of ring, does it? You know? It's like
that's
because you don't know what holds the earth up, Bill. Remember,
all the way down.
Turtles all the way down.
Yeah. When I was a kid in Missouri, we'd find these box turtles, probably about this big around and about that tall. Just these slow, friendly turtles. Yeah. And my mom taught me a trick. You steal a thing of her nail polish and you put your initials on the back of the turtle and see if you can catch the same one before the summer's over.
Yeah, we did that with magic marker. And then years later, we found out that it's like possibly the worst thing you could possibly do to a turtle is to put any kind of chemical on their shell.
On their shell, yeah.
Because apparently their shell is not just like a piece of fingernail.
No, it's a living
organ.
Yeah.
And so we were actually poisoning turtles. That's just why we never found one after we wrote on them.
Yeah.
I spent my young days, instead of going out and partying, I spent most of my time out in the wild cleaning turtles.
Cleaning turtles?
Yeah, wiping initials off of the back of them very delicately with mineral water and an organic soap made out of hemp.
I had two images in my mind when you said cleaning turtles. One was kind of a flossing motion that you were performing and like doing a dental hygienist thing. And then the other involved a kind of a diaper wipe kind of thing.
Oh, never mind. No, I was saving them from the predations of man who's a cancer on the planet.
Overeager 9-year-olds such as
Doesn't
myself.
mean I'm better than you guys or anything, but
just
I'm better than you guys.
By the way, now that we're doing
I just care more.
Virtuous one-upsmanship, I was riding my bicycle down this road next to a creek one day, and I got off. I don't know if I saw something or whatever, but I got off and went down to the creek, and what I found was a relatively good-sized snake for our area that had a frog about halfway down. I mean, depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist.
Sure.
The frog was either half alive or half eaten. I'm not sure. But in any case, outraged as I was at the plight of this helpless, poor victim, I actually picked up the snake and managed to dislodge the frog from its glottis and released the frog into the wild, and it hopped away happily. And I drove away from there at first thinking what a fine human being I was. And then suddenly I was overcome by a feeling of gloom and dread in that I had deprived another living creature of his meal.
Smithers, release the frogs.
I don't have a whole awful lot of emotional connections to either frogs or snakes, so the devil can take them all as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we used to go down in the woods every day just dreaming of finding snakes. And, we found frogs a lot more often than we found snakes. But, that's my childhood is just a memory of going and looking for salamanders and crayfish and snakes and, just anything that we could flip over a rock and find.
Catching
I'm a mammals kind of guy.
In the Gasconade River. Mammals are the best. They're also the tastiest.
We used to actually stage crayfish cage fights. We would find 2 crayfish and put them on a rock together.
Now that I could get behind.
Yeah. Money changed hands constantly.
Yeah, there was wagering.
I do have a topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we going to do that this week? Okay. Well,
actually,
go ahead.
I could talk about catching lizards and stuff all day, but
we'll get more comments about that.
Probably. Well, everybody loves to share their memories about doing stuff like that. I know I do. Yeah. You guys sure do. I want to talk about Joe Biden's campaign launch. I described it at the PJ Live blog last week as sort of a 21st century repeat of Warren Harding's call for a return to normalcy. I know nobody actually remembers the 1920 campaign, but we'd had World War I abroad and Wilson's domestic oppression at home, and Harding ran on this return to normalcy, and of course he won, and then died. But that's not the point. The point is, Biden's launch video was basically it's filled with lies. I mean, it opened with the whole Charlotte Hood falsehood. It's a libel, really, that Trump called the white nationalists there, the white supremacists, fine people, which he did not. So that's the opening of Joe's campaign. But he's making this appeal for after this tumultuous, 3 years now, almost 4 since Trump threw his hat in the ring in 2015, of just craziness. And whether you like it or not, it's exhausting to a lot of voters, I think. It's one of the reasons Scott Walker lost last year, I think. Between 3 races and a recall, voters just get tired of the same faces. And I want to talk about what it's like to call for a return to normalcy when everybody else you're running against in your own party is a farging loon.
Are you going to mention some of the slurring?
Mm-hmm. What was that?
Are you going to mention some of the slurring? When Biden gave his speech, just slurred his words a little bit.
Good old Joe,
now you're going to mention some of the slurring?
Some of the slurring.
Was his face drooping or anything?
Some of the slurring. He wasn't going to mention some of the slurring.
Was Joe showing a little? I didn't notice any signs. What are you looking at?
God,
I've got to find this clip before we tape this segment.
No. It's pretty. It's pretty like I've dialed the 9 and the 1, and now I've dialed the 1, and now I'm just waiting to push send. This kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, definitely bring that up. And when we're done with Backstage, but before we tape that segment, I'm gonna have to look for that. It wasn't in his announcement video because I watched that. He seemed. Well, I was going to say fine, but he seemed like
it was the first speech of his campaign, and I watched. They did like a cut down of all of his. We need to extrambulate the.
Extrambulate.
Whatever. Something is like really. It was like that.
Oh, we got to get that video. What was that? With the guy who's like demoing a machine with all these knobs.
Yes. That's my favorite video of all time. We did one on that. The turbo encabulator.
Oh wow! I haven't seen. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a couple of years at least.
I think it's in 240p resolution. I mean, by now,
it's still my favorite thing ever. The turbo encabulator.
That's classic. You got to look this thing up, everybody. It's totally fake and totally amazing.
That's I'm doing the classic move of what somebody who's unprepared for a meeting does, which is constantly trying to change the subject and make it distraction. But you mentioned last week this video that you made it sound like it was a movie when you described it. What was it called? The pushers and the shovers and the the
terrible secret of space.
Yes. So I think Lydia, one of our members, I'm pretty sure it was Lydia, I could be wrong about that, posted the terrible secret of space on the member blog at billwhittle.com. And I watched that thing and lost my mind.
What?
Laughing so hard?
I haven't seen this. What is the terrible secret of space?
It was done by a guy named Lotex in the early days of the web on Something Awful, and it was an animation made out of what was an email prank, where he actually had like a chat room going with somebody, And he started typing in all caps and saying that I am the robot that is protecting these people. I have pushed her down the stairs. I am the pusher robot. Do not trust the shover robot. The shover robot is malfunctioning. I am the shover robot. Do not trust the pushing robot.
Okay, well, I'm going to the members blog later today.
Like, it's one of those things, Steve, where you keep expecting like something is going to happen. Like somebody's going to then go, now the reason why we've shown this video is to highlight the difference between blah, blah, blah. No, it never does. It never gives an explanation for
great.
itself.
And it's great soundtrack too. Really good.
Jumps right into the crazy and just stays
and
there.
Stays there, yes. It nestles down into the crazy.
I am the pusher robot.
That's awesome. Okay, so Bill, topic, please.
Well, we've got a video of socialism arriving in Venezuela.
Full socialism.
Yeah, in the form of an armored car plowing into a group of into a form of an armored car run by the government, plowing into a group of people who are risking their lives to try to get themselves out of socialism. I saw a meme just a couple of days ago before I saw this story, and it said, socialism, you can vote your way in, but you have to shoot your way out. And so, here's your socialism, kids. Here it is. It's not like this happened 30 years ago or 50 years ago before history, before you were born. This is like going on right this very second. There's nothing left to eat. People are dying of starvation in the country with the biggest oil reserves in the Western Hemisphere. And the guy who, by most accounts, actually won the election, Guaido, is saying this is the end stage. We're going to just overthrow this corrupt socialist government.
Meanwhile, Nicolas Maduro is saying that he's personally spoken with all the military leaders, and they have expressed their 100% firm support,
loyalty,
100% loyalty to him.
Well, you're going to find. I'm glad. I'd like you to bring that up, actually.
And actually, this is breaking. I mean, we're recording this Tuesday afternoon, April 30th.
Yeah.
So
and the reason
it could be
I'd like you to bring that up.
Well,
the reason I'd like you to bring that up is because this is what end-stage socialism looks like.
Yeah.
The people have long been desperate for a change. Now they're starting to get violent, and all that's left are the watchdogs who are the small percentage of military people who are still fed, and who are so hated by the population that now they're all in completely, and they know that if the revolution comes, they're not going to be in great shape. So.
It's like I thought about those military guys, and I thought it reminded me of a book I read about Hitler last year. And when somebody was trying to organize a plot to kill Hitler from within the military establishment, and just what a fraught time that is for those people. Like, you don't know who you can talk to.
Yeah,
that's right.
Anybody can rat you out. You've got to come up with at least some sort of critical mass of people before you can go public with it. And you're pretty sure that one way or the other you're dead.
Yeah, it's probably the Stauffenberg plot, because that had a lot of people involved. Yeah. And they talked to a lot of people, and they talked to Rommel, and Rommel didn't want to be a direct part of it, but he said, if it happened, I wouldn't.
It's not going to keep me up at night.
Wouldn't cry a river, because. So anyway, socialism is here and full effect. So first they took all the money, then they took all the food.
They took the guns too. 2012.
Yeah, of course, because if they took the guns, the story would have stopped when they started taking the food. And so here is your daily example of the wonders of Bernie Sanders' philosophy as advanced by kids who are going to colleges that cost $180,000 a year. So that they can demonstrate against how evil capitalism is in the comfort of their Starbucks as they enjoy their venti, chocolate mochas and their biscottis imported from wherever the hell you import biscottis from.
And not a single one of them believes what you just said. Not a single one of them thinks that this is socialism the way we envision it, and that this is the natural consequence of socialism, the way of Venezuela, the way of, we could go through the list as you have many times. None of them think that they are in the same kind of glide path as that.
No, because they're in a rich capitalist country where everything has always been there, and they assume that prosperity is the natural state of man, and so of course they think American socialism will be different.
Yeah, Dave Burge, Iowa Hawk, nailed it on Twitter this morning. He reposted the video of that armored personnel carrier careening into that. I shouldn't say careening; it was driven on purpose into that crowd of protesters. And Dave Burge tweeted, The sales brochure promised me Sweden.
Yeah. That's awful. I mean, you can't.
No,
not
it's
laugh.
perfect.
You just got to.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Okay.
And even Sweden isn't Sweden. Sweden is, become a terrible place.
Yeah. Well, gonna get ugly.
Okay, so here's what I would reluctantly like to do for my topic this week. And this is, as we're recording this, it was just within hours, perhaps minutes, of a White House meeting between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. I'm sorry, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. We still have the Senate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And by we, I don't know who I'm saying we. I'm like not a member of any known party because none will have me. But in any case, they just had a meeting with the president trying to find common ground and Chuck Schumer emerged from that meeting saying that they did, in principle, agree to some $2 trillion in infrastructure spending, and that he was somewhat surprised at this because previously President Trump had basically said, if you don't lay off the investigations in Congress, we're not even going to talk about this. And now they're talking about it. So I thought we'd talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said Chuck Schumer emerged, I expected the rest of that sentence to be like an Uruk-hai from the dark soil of the earth.
Chuck Schumer emerged, saw his own shadow, and gave us 0.2% economic growth for the next year.
Nancy Pelosi standing by there, clawing him out of the egg sack.
Yeah, then she paints her hand white
or just,
and presses it on his...
Or like using her beak to break open the egg sack.
There you go. Chuck Schumer's Egg Sack. That's going to be the name of my post-punk revival band.
I think I saw Chuck Schumer's Egg Sack warming up for Talking Heads at CBGB in 1978.
Joe Biden reproduces by launching a face hugger.
That's not your face he's hugging.
Funny.
In Aliens, you surely must know the Alien.
I have never seen Aliens.
Well, Alien is an excellent movie. Aliens is an excellent movie. You could stop there.
And then they stopped making them after. And
Aliens. Every time I hear you guys talk about it, I keep thinking I should watch that movie.
No, seriously, dude. Alien is one of the great horror movies of all time. And Aliens is one of, if not the greatest action movie of all time.
Yeah.
They are superb, great films.
They really are. You got to watch them, Scott.
Aliens is my favorite movie.
We're going to go see the Avenger movie Endgame tonight. Apparently, we had to buy tickets like a week in advance. Yeah, please, no spoilers. I thought you'd already seen it. So
we're going on Friday.
Yeah. So I think
saw Shazam. I know Zach Levi. I used to know him relatively well. Been over his house many times.
Is he the Shazam guy?
He's the Shazam guy. And Shazam is just a really solid, it's very funny.
It was
and
fun.
It's just a clean, did you see it?
Yeah.
Clean family movie with really great values all the way through. And I just loved it. I loved it.
It was very entertaining. Here's my only complaint. And I hate to bring up the complaint because I would say I would rate this as a buy. Like, go see it. It's worth seeing. However, what I thought was weird, and this was kind of almost like a Tom Hanks in Big kind of thing, is that the adult Shazam was much more immature than the teenager that he allegedly was emerging from.
So it's a little continuity error there.
Yeah, but Zach is just so bloody good in it. I mean, he just sells it. I mean, they could have tried to come out with Shazam in like a dark black uniform with embossed lightning bolt. They could have tried to take it seriously, but ultimately, the guy's got to go Shazam, and then something happens.
Directs,
actually, you know what, Scott, you just made me think of something. Let's say I was a reasonably mature 14-year-old boy, right?
I think you are.
Yes, well, I like to think of that. Yeah, yes, but you put me in the suit and you give me the powers, and I'm going to be a lot less mature than I was 4 seconds ago in my own body.
Point.
I guarantee you.
See, I didn't explore the backstory well enough.
I wasn't exploring any backstory. I'm just going, what would I do if I had the cape?
By the way, speaking of our a member blog, again, which a guy posted a story about going to see the Avengers movie and about how much he just loves the MCU. And it was a really cool blog piece. Like you should read that if you haven't read it. Yeah.
I have to.
What's an MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Marvel Comics Universe. Sorry.
Yeah. Or Cinematic Universe. Yeah. But anyway, so it was great. And that I read that and I was like, I got to go see this movie, you know. Now I knew I was going to go see it anyway because Mrs. Ott likes movies and I like holding her hand. And so that works very well for both of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have done all we can do at this moment to save the universe, and it's not been enough. And so we're going to plunge ahead and record several more episodes of Right Angle this week. We appreciate the members at BillWhittle.com who not only contribute money, but contribute of their own essence, their own substance, their own thoughts and ideas, and not only in notes of encouragement to us and in ideas for making it better, but in also their own content that they create at BillWhittle.com.
We accept organs as well.
We do. I'm going to need some, as Steve's going to need one in particular.
Scott needs 11 livers.
Robot liver.
And they need to be hooked up. They need to be hooked up in parallel in case one of them fails at any given time.
Got a array of livers.
The liver series idea was wrong. I just shouldn't have had him do it that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate all that you do for us and this little bit that we do for you. By the way, Bill, we got hammered again by multiple members saying that the members only episode about Sri Lanka should have been made public. And they were suggesting, by the way, several of them, that what we could do is just have the Backstage episode be for members only and maybe have a brief embargo on the other members only episode and then release that into the wild.
Let's make it public.
Like a dove.
Let's make it public and see.
Fly be free.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, then. What great people. We're paying you and you're giving us stuff, but we want you to not give us the stuff. Give the stuff to everybody.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It is.
So let the coolness continue. I'm Scott Ott with Stephen Green and Bill Whittle, and we'll see you this week on Right Angle.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
I feel like we should cross swords at this point or something.